games when you're seeing him in action? What kind of play style are you seeing really shine through with Fenrir?
Want to go, Josh?
Sure. Yeah. So Fenrir, like, I mean, ultimately, when a Fenrir's on the board and you know it, treading carefully is kind of the name of the game at that point, because you're not going to be as effective at the gunfights that you think you want to take. Maybe you're going to swing it, and the next thing you know, maybe I should get back behind cover because I just got hit by an FNAT. So as far as that goes, it is definitely
FNAT.
cautioning players on what
It's
they're
such
trying,
a weird
what kind of
name.
engagements they're trying to take, and kind of telling players, hey, you need to take a second, clear this utility, or find another way around this situation. We're seeing that. We're actually seeing it in the data as well, where FNATs are being destroyed at a good rate. People getting caught in it are not being like, it's not overwhelming that you're caught in it and then the kills are through the roof or anything like that. It's actually more of a deterrent than anything. So all in all, I think it's really stretching players' kind of play styles right now and kind of forcing players to react to him being on the board. This is why his ban rate is probably.
I mean, not really. He doesn't really do anything.
Significantly challenging, and we can see that with different specific operators that tend to, stop your entry.
Like 9 times out of 10,
Now,
his things aren't even in the right place, and they're pushing from the opposite side. And when they do see it, they just immediately shoot it because it's
anyone pairing with him, or
in a place where you probably can't
conversely, are you
like act on it or swing on the guy that's activating in the first place.
I mean, we started the year with Brava, right? This is the perfect operator to counter Fenrir, so we've seen like some back and forth going on there. Bravo is still picked, still represented in the ranked match, so we really have a back and forth between those two. It's fun to see.
Yeah, we were talking about Brava during the pre-show last season.
I wish the game actually looked like that.
It was great seeing, all the gadget interactions and people really stirring the pot, really mixing it up with Brava.
Brava though, Brava is fucking good.
This is interesting to
Brava
see. Brava
is
like
really fucking good
to each other in that they have that direct interaction, and they're the two operators we've had launched this year. Is this sort of in tune with kind of overall operator design philosophy of how you're evolving, what people can do, what challenges they face, and how they deal with them in Siege?
Well, yeah, like in general, Siege is all a game about either playing the other player that you're facing or trying to outthink them, outsmart them. I mean, the more we have that in the game, the more opportunity there is for players to maybe take a fight without just straight up gunfight. And that's,
if I'm gonna be honest, it's not like that at the moment. The game is more or less just face checking.
More advantages in their favor.
But it used to be a game about outsmarting and tactics and strategy and stuff like that. But
it's the simple thing of option. Like, you're not forced to do it. Like, as I think that the term forced is pretty strong, but it's definitely telling you want to.
In my opinion, you should be forced to do it. It should be more. I wish we went back to the
find another way around. Chat, let me know. I mean, this
quote
is
unquote
utility
meta
right now, but I'll be
that this
watching
game
here.
used to be about.
Like,
predominantly people
Are you a take it straight on? I want to hear what y'all
played around the game with what gadgets were on, like especially the shields. Like the whole complaining about the shields being overpowered and it being you have to bring nades and stuff like. That's more or less like a balancing problem as to like who should have what, because there's only so many people in this game that have explosives. So like making it so that it's less utility focused makes the game way more brain dead than it should be, and in my opinion it's just less fun. I wish we went back to the days of where you could just strategize and have a bunch of stuff placed down and everybody anchored and stuff like that, and it's not really like that anymore, but and you would think that it would be more like that with the addition of all these new and crazy gadgets, but people just kind of ignore everything and rush the site. Like, they check one thing, rush the sites. Not really like how I thought it would go.
Part 2 of the Grim Buff is coming. You're going to learn about that in the season reveal. But let's talk about part 1 first, fellas. How is it going? How have you been seeing this first buff to Grim taking effect?
So, in short, it's good. Like, I think that's the one thing that we can say with the data. Like, we've had 100% effectiveness with the gadget being used. That's awesome. People are actually catching people in the bees, and people are actually using the launcher to catch people in the bees. Like, the fact that wasn't quite there at release was a bit of a pain point, obviously, and like being able to actually get
I'm gonna be honest, the Siege community is full of people who don't want to use any of the utility. So there's your answer for why people aren't using it correctly. They'd rather complain about it not being like super effective than figuring out a way to actually utilize it correctly, which is kind of funny, but because in my opinion, like it worked just fine the way it was before. You shoot around a corner that you can't see or physically get to, and it's supposed to ping the guy in an AoE where, you know, it forces him to move or he gets pinged to death.
Let's talk about that kind of.
But people used it to face check because that's literally all people do now, and they complain. They're like, "Oh, this is a bad gadget." Blah blah blah. Oh, you're just gonna die. Might as well just, you know, Shaiko peek. Blah blah blah. It's like people are just really this incredibly, like, one, incredibly lazy, and two, incredibly fucking stupid. They just don't want to use the gadget correctly or use it at all. You know, because it's supposed to be a substitute for a drone. You get like what, 6 shots or something like that. So you lose your drone. You have no intel. You have this little bee launcher. You shoot it. Shoot around a corner. You check. Oh, he's not there. And then you push through. It's not supposed to be like an immediate, like, if anything, like someone else is supposed to play off of the gadget, off the information, and swing. Not you, but like people are so incredibly lazy and selfish that they pick ops like Yana. They pick somebody who they can solo in, get the information, and then kind of act on it on their own, which is not the way that I think the game should be played, and it's like very individual based, but there you go. That's just, that is sort of the premise of why people complained and use the gadget wrong, and thus now it forces them to change and rework the gadget because people are so incompetent. But it's fine, like it's shoots faster now, which is also good, but at the end of the day, like, it's still the same gadget. I don't know what they're gonna do to rework it again, the part 2, but it could only get easier. Like it's probably more gonna be like
we know that Siege, as you said, Matsuo,
like a quick deployment type of thing, where you can act on it yourself, like act on the information yourself. Because the bee launcher does take a long time to put away, but it should be like that. I don't think it should be.
So I really appreciate y'all sharing that info.
I don't think they should remove the bee launcher, but it's really up to them. And that's sort of the premise of why everyone was complaining. But
countdown timer is out, and it's actually getting pretty close. So before we wrap it up here, I wanted to touch on one more thing from Operation Dread Factor: the observation blocker. This was a new secondary gadget.
That thing is garbage.
Of course, it blocks camera
that
vision,
thing sucks.
Really help defenders kind of evade the prying eyes.
There's almost like no reason.
And do you have anything to kind of? Yep, I know it might be kind of hard
ever
to get,
bring that, like, especially if you have like a shield or a C4 or an impact grenade. Like I don't know how something about this gadget is so, and then they gave it to like
you can tell us about how the observation
the wrong people. Like they took away Alibi shield and gave her this. Who's gonna use this, right? Like if you're gonna bring Alibi, you want people to shoot the thing, and blocking it doesn't make any sense. Like it just, it's just such a dumb gadget.
Frequently, not like like I would say quarter of the time. That's the amount of pick rate that we have, but it doesn't impact them negatively. Like if you pick this over barbed wire, you have the same kind of
even barbed wire is better than this.
Seems to at least be doing the job.
I think the problem with this gadget has the same problem that Sense's gadget has. It doesn't reach the full, like, it doesn't reach the ceiling. So you have like this, I mean, most walls or most like hallways are like, you're not gonna be able to see over it anyway, but like in most cases, like let's say you put it in like bank the spiral staircase, like why would you ever do that? Like there's literally no reason for you to ever put it, but it would be cool to, you know, put that there, because then if you put it there, then you can essentially cut off like a weird line of sight, like people who hang on the windows. And then like another problem is that, like, since it's on the floor, people who, like, let's say you do hide it behind your master camera behind the thing, they're just gonna see the thing on the floor and shoot it. Like there's no like, if you think think about the line of sight that it takes for you to hide it in the first place, someone with a gun is just going to look down and shoot it, right? Or, you know, they have Bravo or Twitch. Like, it's just... It makes no sense to me.
This is the end of our time for the pre-show. I want to thank
why you can't just like stick it up. Like if you could stick the thing like
I appreciate it, man.
Adjacently perpendicular to the wall or like the ceiling or something like that, then it'd actually be a good gadget, because then you could hide the gadget itself and then cut off the line of sight, and then if it reaches like the end of whatever it is that it's stuck on, then you can cover up essentially the entire room from top to bottom. But because it's like cut off at like a certain height, just like Sense's gadget, it's kind of garbage. Like you just there's no point. I don't know. There's just no point of using it. It's just, especially since you have to pick it over the other gadgets. Like, why would you give, like, Pulse, for example? Why in the fuck would you use it instead of a C4? Like, it's just... But first, stuff like that just blows my mind. On a side note, I hope they address the situation with Mousetrap, because it's not working, and it's pretty much a joke at this point. I don't know, they should just take action on the people that they know are using an adapter. Just ban these people, please. They're literally streaming on TikTok and gloating about it.
Hello, everyone.
It's not even a secret anymore.
Operation Heavy Mettle. I'm Camille Salazar-Hadaway, here to present the lineup for Year 8, Season 3 of Rainbow Six Siege. To kick off the show, here's Creative Director Alexander Karpazis with an overview of the season.
The Rainbow Six Siege team is proud to present Operation Heavy Mettle. It's coming with a new operator Ram coming from South Korea. She's joining the Red Hammer squad because of her destructive capabilities. With the season as well, we're bringing meaningful changes to the balance of the game and the way that you play. The playlists are going through some change as well, with the new game mode coming to arcade. We have a new tutorial system for all the new players jumping in this season as well. All of this plus a commendation system to reward other players. And we have much, much more to share with you, so please enjoy.
If you're new to Siege or have never played it,
in every attacker's life when
please let me know in the comments. I'm very curious to see how many new people that this game is actually pulling in. This game has been out for like 8 years now, 7.5 years now. So.
Well, the operator with the answer to all of these questions is Ram and her Boogie Auto Breacher. You want to know more? Stick around.
We'll start with the commendation system, a new and rewarding way to recognize your teammates, like the spotter who set up great drone cams, or the text chat champ who stayed cool when you went down 3-0. UX designer Roland Poe will tell you about it.
So the goal of the commendation system is to showcase some of the positive aspects we have in our game, and allow players a new way to interact with one another and highlight those positivities. At the end of a match, players will have the opportunity to commend 2 of their teammates in up to 3 different categories. You can be commended for your dedication, so for being an engaged and reliable teammate, for being on comms, using pings. You can be commended for your guidance, so for showing leadership, for being helpful, and you can be commended for your valor, for being positive, being fun to play with, and just a great Siege community member. Also, you'll have the opportunity to vote to commend the other team as worthy opponents. If you had a fun and fair and fulfilling match against them, this is a great way to spread positivity, not just within your team, but throughout the entire lobby. Players who have been frequently commended in their recent matches will be considered to be on a streak, and will have a dedicated icon placed next to their name in places like the player profile panel, the in-match scoreboard, and player cards. And for players who are on a streak, they will also receive an increase to their Alpha Pack drop roll rate at the end of every match they have whilst the streak is active. But the benefits aren't just for players on a streak. Every single player who is engaged with the commendation system will receive a mid-season Alpha Pack drop of epic rarity. In addition to that, The top 25%.
I'm just gonna say this right now. That's worth nothing. That's
will receive an alpha pack drop of legendary status. So during Year 8 Season 3, we're also going to be updating the Reputation Center. We're going to have a new page that's all about commendations. You're going to see how many you've received, in which categories, the status of your streak, and the alpha pack drops. Also, we've heard your feedback about the reputation system, and we know that you're looking for more information about how to achieve the highest reputation standings. That's why we're also
there should be a button that lets you
negative actions and behaviors
that lets you mark other people
so it's important to
if they are a mouse and keyboard or Zim or whatever
However,
the fuck
in a future update, after
on
some
console.
monitoring,
And just have a public
together,
badge
meaning the number
that
of
everybody can
commendations you
vote
receive
on
will start to impact your
in game.
standing.
That
So we're
way,
looking forward to getting this into your
they have
hands,
some
seeing
sort of
how you
way to
engage
label
with it,
these people.
and together making the Rainbow Six Siege community the best it possibly
I feel like
can be.
that'd be a very positive thing.
Now it's time
Taken
to
out of
talk
this
game
game.
modes. Operation Heavy Mettle is bringing changes to Quick Match and
They won't
Unranked,
ban 'em.
plus that brand new arcade
Can't
mode
do
we
that.
mentioned earlier. Game designer Robert Cole and gameplay programmer Albert Val are here to tell you more.
As we announced during the year reveal, we wanted to make changes to Quick Match in order to make it faster and more accessible. But we realized that we needed to make some tweaks to other game modes in order to fit those changes. The main objective for the changes that we're doing to Quick Match is to make it faster, not only by reducing the overall match timers, but also by reducing the waiting time. And additionally, the other main objective is to allow players to focus much more on the action. Now, in order to focus on the action, on the defender side, we're introducing a new system called pre-setups. Now, pre-setups are a pre-deployment of reinforcements and rotation holes at the start of the round. We have designed two variations for each bomb site, which will be chosen randomly at the start of the round, and they will cover the most reinforced walls, but also leaving agency for the players to use the remaining ones as they want. Now for attackers, we're also introducing a new system called Attackers Protection, which basically consists on a 10-second invulnerability phase at the start of the round, which will allow for a much safer approach to the building. In order to make Quick Match faster, we will be making changes to all the round timers, from the planning phase to the action phase. We're also taking the chance to make some tweaks to the matchmaking algorithm, which will now find matches much faster. Additionally, since we had to make some changes to some of the maps for the pre-setups, we will be launching this season with a reduced map pool, which we will be expanding in the future. We know that this new direction for Quick Match is pushing the playlist into a much more quick and casual place, and that's why we will also be making changes to Unranked, starting by the name of the playlist. We are changing Unranked's name to Standard to better fit our playlist ecosystem, being a midpoint between our most competitive game modes and our most casual game modes. The main changes that we're doing to Standard is removing map and operator ban phases, so that players can play all the content without restrictions. We're also
What do you
changing
mean
the
by
order
this?
to 1.
All the
Track game
content?
for far too long.
Like all the content in the ranked
Standard
playlist?
will now become the go-to place for players who want a classic Siege experience without jumping to ranked. But also a place for players who want to try out the new operators with the removal of the map and operator ban phases. These changes will bring a much stronger identity to these playlists, and we are confident that players will enjoy them.
Last season, we introduced the Permanent Arcade playlist, a place for players to play our previously released arcades, such as Golden Gun, Snipers Only, or even new ones like Free For All. We received an awesome feedback from you throughout the season, and we want to keep the playlist fresh.
I'm also
and
curious
engaging.
who actually
So,
plays these game
we're
modes.
introducing a new arcade
Like,
called
legitimately.
Weapon Roulette.
I
Weapon
feel like
Roulette is a
the only
two-device
reason
game
why
mode
people
where
would
all
play
players have the
Siege
same
is
weapon.
for the sake of
But
ranked or
there's a twist. This
at
weapon
least
is gonna be
maybe
changing to
quick
a random
match,
new
but
one
this
every
is
short amount of
like
time. So get ready for chaotic and unexpected gunfights. From Kali snipers to short-range shotgun, it's gonna be crazy. As well, it's a place for newcomers to learn about new weapons and attachments.
right. The only
Yes,
utility I
it's
would
gonna be
see
ready
for any of these game modes is to
I'll
try
probably
out
be approaching this
guns.
new game mode.
Like maybe the team deathmatch, I can understand, like so you could just get used to the feel of the game, but
We have news to share on each of these operators, as well as a big update on shotguns. If you've ever run with a shotgun or faced off against one, you're going to want to hear what Associate Game Director Joshua Mills has to say.
So shotguns on Siege have not been the most reliable tool for our operators, and that's one of the things we wanted to address. So we're actually kind of overhauling the entire weapon class.
Huh?
There are a couple shotguns that will not be included in this update, but those are the slug shotguns. Focusing on all the rest, there are significant changes coming. If we want to look at a template that really signifies where we're going with this, you can look at smoke shotgun. And that is actually the foundation that our amazing weapon expert Matthew Lacombe used.
What are they gonna
so
do?
broad changes
Because
that you can expect with the shotgun rework
there's
are
only
far more
one
precision
way
when you're
to use
ADS,
the gun.
far more destruction when you're not, and even more destruction when you're moving and not ADS'd. And some of you already know this actually works, and I've been doing it with the Bailiff for some time.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
we've actually taken that feature and expanded that across the rest of the shotgun.
Okay.
We don't want anything in the game to ever be a non-option. So at the end of the day, shotguns are going to be far more consistent and a viable tool.
Consistent for who? Because you're still gonna have to use a laser sight, I'm
shoot through
assuming.
and reinforce wall and then start deploying on the opposite side. So we extended that a little further and said, why can't we do that on deployable shields, or in some cases, even a Talon shield for Mosa? The goal here is versatility, allowing players to adapt to the environment that's been set up around them. So whether that means deployable shields out and about, or you have Mosa on your
Will there
team
be a
helping
hole
you,
in the shield
it
then?
has extreme destructive capacity, but at the same time, it's a high-risk kind of move.
I don't see how it's
So
a high
with
risk if you're
part one,
protected by the
we
shield
really
in the
focused on
first place, but
efficiency of the
okay.
launcher. That as well is a little bit of his kit. One of the main contention points of Grim in general is the face check for intel.
Yeah,
You have
see
to
the
point this
the
launcher
face
and put yourself
checking.
at risk in order to actually take that shot. So the
Yeah,
second
but
part of the
see,
buff
that's the
is
problem.
actually to
You're
add
not
an alternate mode to the launcher. This new alternate mode will allow the player to actually bank canisters off the wall or off a surface instead of directly sticking to them. This allows more play and allows you to get them in trickier spots.
Okay,
We
so
want to
but
reward
how
players that
far
have
does
a
it
plan,
go?
And just like our other operators with their alternate modes, like Sophia and Capital, Grim will have the same functionality, being able to select what type of canister
Is it
gonna come
affected
out of
by
that launcher the
gravity?
second you shoot it. So the frost change has been a hot topic for us since its reveal. And one of the big things we want to get across here is that the fact that a player can end up helpless in our game has no space there. We do not want that. And that's one of the steps that the frost change is trying to do, where if a player finds themselves on a welcome mat, they have options. Options are, I can pull that off myself with a severe debuff. I'm probably not going to survive that anyway, but at the same time, I can also have my friend come and help me out. At that point, you will receive no debuff for doing so because they'll safely remove the trap from you. This is exactly how it works in live, and also sets up for the scenarios where Frost can get a 2-for-1. So the big thing about a player being able to take the frost trap off of them, at least on the Lab TS, was that it wasn't severe enough. That people were able to do it too quickly. We're taking it from 2.5 seconds all the way up to 4 seconds, also including a far more severe debuff. That debuff will last up to 60 seconds and reduce the player all the way down to a walking speed while still leaving that blood trail and making all the vocal calls that we have seen on the Lab TS. I'm super,
Do you
super
scream in
excited about Season
pain?
3. There's a lot
Why?
of stuff
Like,
packed
it's
in there. The shotguns alone are a massive package. Beyond that, it's our collaboration that we've already started to establish with the community in a far more tight-knit way. And I really appreciate that, and I'm thankful for that, and I can't wait for what we're going to be able to do together as we move forward.
In Siege, there are a few things you'll need to keep in mind when you're playing your first match. New tutorials focused on the core mechanics are coming this season. Let's get the details from game designer Victoria Vera.
As we mentioned in the Y8 reveal, we will have not only new playable tutorials, but a fully fledged new first-time user experience that aims to make newcomers feel more guided through their journey through Siege.
You'll have to go around to continue your training.
We will have 3 new tutorials: Basics, Attack, and Defense, that aim to make the newcomer feel more confident while playing their first Siege match. The first tutorial will be Basics. In Basics, we will be covering what makes Siege truly Siege. We will make a special emphasis on core mechanics such as leaning, verticality, secondary gadgets, unique abilities, and so on. The other 2 tutorials will be covering the asymmetrical nature of Siege, so it will be Attack and Defense. So the Attack tutorial will cover how to win a round as an attacker. We will be covering the mechanics needed for doing so, which include how to drone, how to enter the building by rappelling, how to destroy defender gadgets and cameras, how to use tactical advantages such as breaching, defusing, and finally eliminating all opponents. So the defense tutorial will be serving the same purpose as the attack one, but this time as a defender. We'll be covering mechanics such as reinforcing, barricading, how to prepare a good setup, and other mechanics that are needed to understand how to play as a defender, such as electricity. So after you complete the tutorials, we will be rewarding 10 new ops, 5 on attack and 5 on defense. We do have plans for the future. We are preparing the new AI Defender playlist, in which newcomers and their friends can play siege matches in a more safe and controlled environment before starting their journey in the PvP space.
When we talk about player comfort, we're not talking about your gaming chair. We're talking about all the little things that make playing and watching Siege that much better. In this season, we're giving you the option to remove the HUD while using FreeCam. And that's not all. Creative Director Alexander Karpazis is back to tell you more.
Last season, we introduced FreeCam in the match replay. And this season, we're bringing an update. We're allowing you to remove the HUD from the replay cam so that you can capture the perfect moment and use that in any of the content that you're making. So this feature is also coming to the spectator mode. FreeCam plus Hide UI will be one package for all spectators out there. For us, we're really excited to share these tools with the esports scene. This will change the way that people will be able to watch the matches play out in real time, and we can't wait for you to have a new perspective on those pro matches. With the latest update coming to FreeCam, that means there's going to be a new way for all of you content creators to capture what you want, the way you want it, and share it with the world. Another quality of life update that's coming that's very near and dear to my heart. We've all had that one squad mate who went to grab a sandwich an hour ago and you want to kick him from the match. Now you can. You can kick and promote in your squad now. So starting with Season 3, Operation Heavy Mettle, you'll also be able to read patch notes in the game. So if you ever want to refer to them, you don't have to go anywhere else but in-game to check them out. Our patch notes are the place to go to whenever you want to find out the real details that are changing each season in each patch that comes within the season itself. So now you have a permanent home to reference whenever you want to see what's up.
Changes are coming to Operation Heavy Mettle Battle Pass to make it easier for you to target the rewards you want. Here to explain this update is Business Strategy Director Mohammed Ben Hanada.
They're gonna copy Warzone.
Late last year, we released the new Battle Pass system. We've received a lot of good feedback from you, the community. The two major points we want to work on for the next coming seasons is the discoverability and the navigations. So for the discoverability, we're introducing the Intro tab. The Intro tab will give you an overview of the main rewards to unlock during the seasons. So this is going to come up in Year 8 Season 3. And as I said, during the upcoming seasons, you'll see more and more improvements on the discoverability and navigations. So stay tuned for that.
Now, the time has come for destruction. The time has come for chaos. The time has come for RAM. First up, we'll have concept artist Sunshine Kim sharing insights on the design and creative vision for this operator. Then we'll go to Director of Gameplay Design Jeremy Carvin and Game Designer Justin Laurentier Aluwalia for details on Ram's gadgets and how she'll be wreaking havoc in the field.
Ram's unit, an all-female unit of the South Korean Special Forces, is really competitive to get in. As we research and learn more about this unit, Tarantula/Taeho unit, we all agreed that this character should look absolutely badass. Ram's gadget is rather mechanical than high-tech. So it was a natural choice for us to make the design more greedy, more grounded, which I know that a lot of our fans have been asking for. Her night visions, camouflage, combat shirts and pants, these are all general aesthetics that we borrowed from South Korean military. And then we went through redesigning process on top of that to give a more uniqueness, to make this character really memorable and stand out.
Does she have the K1A?
Ram is part of Red Hammer, so the capacity of destruction of this device needed to be unlimited. With this operator, we are introducing the biggest throwable ever made in Siege. The buggy needed to be very heavy and tanky, We have 2 rotating shredders on the bottom to destroy floors and rotating saws in the front to smash walls. Finally, to increase the sentiment of chaos, we decided to power this device with a combustion engine.
Boogie deployed. Boogie is a go!
Ram's gadget is the Boogie Auto Breacher. These are massive bulletproof tools of soft destruction. Ram can throw these boogies from pretty much anywhere, so behind cover, she can also do this while rappelling.
It's so big and heavy.
As a matter of fact, if she were to throw one of these through a barricade, it'll smash right through it.
Imagine how pissed you'd be if you missed that. You have to climb back down and pick it up.
Once a boogie has been deployed, Ram can activate it from anywhere on the map. She does this remotely, just like you would with Thermite or Fuse. At any point before activating her gadget, Ram can use the alternate mode to switch her trajectory. She can choose between having it move directly forward or curving it to the left or to the right. These alternate modes can be very useful to deal with situations, say, around a corner without having to expose yourself. A great example of this is Blue Elbow in Oregon Basement. So Ram's kit is really designed to allow players to emphasize on either her aggression or destruction aspects. Ram's first primary option is the R4C, which you may recognize as Ash's signature assault rifle. This weapon is great for aggressive pushes onto site and those quick engagements. And to help Ram with the longer range aspects of some of her engagements, we're giving her a few extra high-powered scopes. For players who prefer more of a suppressive fire approach, Ram also has access to the LMG-E. This weapon's massive magazine and fairly good recoil make it an excellent choice for players who just want to hail bullets and sustain pressure on the enemy. So Ram's first secondary option is the Mark 1 9mm. For more aggression players, this is going to be very useful in a gunfight, in case you ever run out of bullets in your primary.
It's just a pistol.
Ram's alternate secondary is the ITA-12S shotgun. This is a great choice for players who really want to double down on that destruction aspect of Ram. So Ram is a 3 health, 1 speed operator. She is an unstoppable force. She's there to take position and hold constant pressure on the enemy. And that extra health is going to make sure that whatever the defenders throw at her, she's not going away anytime soon. So Ram's secondary gadget options really once again allow players to focus on either aggression or destruction. Her first option is flash grenades, which are fantastic in a gunfight to really push down on those defenders. Alternatively, Ram has access to hard breach charges. At her simplest, Ram is a fantastic vertical operator. Unlike operators like Buck or Sledge, she can do her destruction from relative safety. We're hoping that players who are perhaps a bit wary of doing vertical play will really take to this and experience this absolutely core element of Siege's gameplay.
Whoa, she has 3 of them? Whoa, she has 4 of them.
In those narrow corridors and choke points, making it a very easy push for the attackers.
Okay.
More experienced players may notice that remote activation, alternate mode, and also the sheer sound that this gadget produces.
It just that's interesting. It took out the Kapkan trap when it wasn't even near it.
Ram's Destructive Chaos is a really good smokescreen for operators who have gadgets that have very loud sound cues that defenders will typically want to pay attention to. Examples of this are Fuse, Amaru, and just about any hard breach operator.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to bandit trick a wall when the ceiling is being torn out from above you. Operators like Flores, Brava, and Twitch all really want to get their drones on site to deal with enemy utility, and the boogies can absolutely help them do that. The easiest way to counter Ram is simply to outposition her, and she's not exactly a quiet operator. Some operators, especially stealthy ones like Caveira or Vigil, can really take advantage of that. Even though Ram's boogies are bulletproof, they're not indestructible. Explosives such as C4 or impact grenades will destroy boogies immediately. Boogies also have a large red canister on the rear that, just like on Mira or Osa, can be shot to destroy it. Though Ram's gadget is mechanical once it's activated, before it's been activated, it's electronic, meaning it can be jammed by a well-placed mute jammer, or also
Oh no, it could be jammed? Oh, I guess that makes sense. Why wouldn't it? But it's a mechanical fucking
We've had a blast.
Ah, that's
testing
annoying.
her
I
out,
hate mute,
and we're
dude.
hoping that players have that same experience.
Well, at least Mozzie can't take it. So, whatever.
You can play the season test server for Operation Heavy Mettle starting next week. Put Ram's gadgets through its paces and start working on your counter strategies. And remember, whether you're on the test server or in the live game, reporting issues you encounter to R6Fix will give you a chance to earn some neat rewards. Now, before we wrap up, there's one more thing. And yes, it's a new elite. Please welcome to
They
the
did
Elite
not
Club
talk about
for the first time, Thunderbird.
Mousetrap at all. Very interesting. Well, there you go. That's the season. I wonder if I don't think the Frost update is this season. Correct? I'm pretty sure they delayed that. So now we just have to wait till next season. Oh well.